Justice Kenneth Madison Hayne delivered his findings yesterday, and if you happen to read them, you're probably wondering the same thing as me. Did he think about this or just write them down on the back of a beer coaster at the pub on Sunday afternoon the day before the report was due? How on earth could he possibly have stuffed this up so badly? And how could the government take up the recommendations so quickly? If Mr Hayne was writing a letter, it'd be like this. Dear Australia, eat shit. How can this be written by a human? How can he benefit the big banks, the very people he's trying to shame, by wiping out all of their competition? Royal Commission, get the big banks. Go through the commission, shocking reports of misconduct by big banks, have a report, get rid of everyone, benefit big banks. How is that even possible? Firstly, yes, the big banks and their financial planners have absolutely done the wrong thing. Charging dead people, improper advice, rogue advisors. Yes, that is horrendous and it should be stopped. But what do the mortgage brokers do? So to say that mortgage brokers get money for nothing is frankly, or bluntly, as Mr Hayne said, ignorant and completely detached from reality. This recommendation will basically wipe out the entire industry. Like, we're talking Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and after all the dust settles, guess who remains? Only the big four banks and AMP. Great work, top job. By going to a mortgage broker, they can take your personal set of circumstances, find out which of the various number of lenders are willing to look at your scenario. Some banks like someone who is employed by someone else. Some banks like someone who's self-employed. Some are friendlier to self-employed people. The commissions are all exactly the same. By receiving trail commissions, mortgage brokers are able to continue to help their customers or their clients. Anything from, should I pay off this credit card or put it in my offset account, to yearly checking and going to their customers with a new interest rate which might benefit them or put them in a better position. Does your bank ring you every year to talk about the new rates they have on offer and how you could be doing better? No. If you want to have a positive outcome from the Royal Commission, why did Mr Hayne say, hey banks, now you have to call all your customers once a year and offer them or just give them the new rate? Where was anything like that? Didn't happen. It all just smells of stitch up. All of the evil, all of the stories, all of the corruption that we heard about. How does that work in anybody's language? We're basically giving banks a free kick and wiping out their competition. Pretty sure that was the opposite of the reason for having a Royal Commission. It's like the big banks like Roadrunner. Rock falls down, misses big banks, squashes public. Meet meet. But in this case, there's no do-over. What people need to understand is that no broker picks a lender based on commission. It's completely false. The brokers compare all of the different products. They give you the best and most independent outcome for the loan approval process. If you go to a big bank, how are they going to help you refinance to another big bank? The reality is they're not. You go to one bank, they have you in their loan, and they don't tell you about better deals. How can this be missed? How can the greatest advantage anyone has by using a mortgage broker, how can that not be looked at as part of this commission? The commission has done exactly the opposite of what it was intended to do, unless you include paying lots of lawyers and giving the media something to talk about. Mr Hayne wants a user pays system. Could you imagine it? Pay for no success. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Congratulations, you've been declined. That'll be $700. Alrighty. Mr Hayne says on page 70 of the report, the chief value of trailing commissions to the recipient, to put it bluntly, is that they are money for nothing. You want to talk about money for nothing? The elephant in the room here is that we're trying to knock out the person who makes about $3,120 for helping you buy a house for $600,000 and $60 a month ongoing. Whereas the government gets paid between $14,500 and $32,500 for stamping a form. Think about it. The mortgage broker meets with the clients, goes through the application, files the paperwork, looks through the bank statements, submits it to the bank, follows up with the bank, takes the forms out to the client, signs the forms with the client, brings the form back to the bank, settles the loan, supports on the way through, and the government stamps the form. Ultimately, the problem is this. There were deep-seated, deep-rooted problems within the big banks and the financial services industry. But how this report went from that into completely destroying the livelihoods of good, hard-working Australians in an industry that we so need to stop things becoming completely unfair has backfired and turned into a political point-scoring debacle. And after all of this, the banks come out on top. How does this even work? Fat cats high-fiving before the Royal Commission and fat cats high-fiving after the Royal Commission. Whereas punters who want to get loans are going to get shit service and continue to get ripped off, and the only people that used to help them out now can't get paid. Mr Hayne told the banks just how hard he's going to be on them. I'm going to be very hard on you. I'm going to take out all your competition and make it a lot easier for you to dominate the marketplace. Now be good boys. It's laughable.